Namaste students, myself JV and Dr. Arun Kumar Singh, Faculty of Education and Methodology, Jyoti Vidyapeeth, Women's University, Jaipur. I welcome to all of you in my digital class BSc B.Ed 7th semester. We will discuss the topic types of counseling. Counseling is a scientific process of assistance extended by an expert in an individual situation in a needy person. Counseling involves relationship between two persons in which one of them counselor attempt to assistant of other counselee in so organizing himself as to attain a particular form of happiness, adjusting to a life situations, or in short, self-actualization. Short-term counseling as a self-adjustive process which help the client becomes more self-directive and self-responsible. Shortly, it is a personal and dynamic relationship between two individuals in which the more experienced person help the less experienced person to find self-determined solutions for his problem. Types of counseling. Counseling are of following types: directive counseling, non-directive counseling, and elective counselings. Directive counselings E.G. Williamson is the chief exponent in this viewpoint. Counselor centered. The counselor direct the client to take step in order to resolve his conflicts. It is based on assumptions that the client cannot solve his own problems for lack of information. The counselors play an important role. He tries to direct the thinking of counselee by informing, explaining, interpreting, and advising. It gives more importance to intellectual aspects than emotional aspects. Steps of directive counseling. Williamson has given 6 steps of directive counseling. Firstly, analysis, synthesis, next diagnosis, prognosis, counseling, and follow-up. Merits of directive counseling: it is less time consuming, hence these methods can be adopted when an early solution is required. This method is best less matured and a less intelligent client interact with an experienced counselors. This is best methods at lower level where the client is not in a position to analyze his own problems. In these methods, the counselor becomes readily available to help the client, which makes the client very happy. Demerits of directive counseling. In directive counseling, the client never becomes independent of the counselor, so it is not an effective or best guidance. The personal autonomy and integrity of the client is not respected. It leads to new adjustment problems. It will not help the individuals to develop any attitudes through his own experience. The counselor fails in saving the client to commit the mistake in future. Okay. Second point, non-directive counselings calls are Roger is the chief exponent in this viewpoints. This school is thought it just reverse to that the directive counselings. It is a client-centered process. In this, the counseling is the pivot of the whole counseling processes. The main function of the counselor is to create an atmosphere in which the client can work out his problems. Steps in client-centered counseling. Carl Rogers can give in the following steps of this non-directive counseling. Firstly, defining the problematic situations. First of all, the counselors should define the problematic situations. Free expressions. Second, free expressions of feelings. After the first step, the client is made aware of the fact that he can express his feelings freely, and counselor approves this. Next, development of insights. The counselor goes on thinking regarding the client new feelings along with the development of client insight, and he goes on classifying all those new feelings, classroom and positive and negative feelings, classifications of positive and negative feelings. After the free expressions of feelings by the client, the counselor identifies his negative and positive feelings and he classifies them. Termination of counseling situations. The counselor looks for a point where he can terminate the counseling situations. After all the above steps, according to this school of thoughts, either the client or the counselor can suggest for such termination of counseling situations. Okay. Next, merits. It helps the counselee to become independent and self-reliant and to attain the ability for self-directions. It helps the client to attain emotional integrity and help to reach his full growth. It helps to attain more suitable adjustment to his situations. This type of counseling leaves its impressions for longer periods. Demerits. It is usually more time consuming. It is not suitable for the less matured and less intelligence counseling. The counselor's passive attitude might irritate and counselee so much that he might hesitate to express his feelings. Okay. Next, elastic counseling. Elastic counseling is chief advocate of this type of counseling is Thorne. Elastic counseling is a type of counseling which is neither counselor-centered nor client-centered, but a combination of both. Here the counselor is neither too active as in directive counseling nor too passive as in non-directive counseling, but follows a middle course. Characteristics of elastic counseling. Methods of counseling may change from client to client or even with the same client from time to time. It is highly flexible. Freedom of choice and expression is open to both the counselors and the counselee, and experience of mutual confidence and faith in the relationship are basis. The client and the philosophical framework are adjusted to shape the purpose of the relationship. Okay, thank you.